Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An amount or percentage deducted. Interest on an annual basis deducted in advance on a loan. A refund of some fraction of the amount paid. Bar from attention or consideration. The act of reducing the selling price of merchandise. Give a reduction in price on. I never discount these books, they sell like hotcakes. An amount or percentage deducted. A reduction in the gross amount on which a tax is calculated. Reduces taxes by the percentage fixed for the taxpayer's income bracket. Something that is inferred, deduced or entailed or implied. The act of subtracting, removing a part from the whole. Reasoning from the general to the particular, or from cause to effect. The act of reducing the selling price of merchandise. Interest on an annual basis deducted in advance on a loan. Interest on an annual basis deducted in advance on a loan. The rate of interest set by the Federal Reserve that member banks are charged when they borrow money through the Federal Reserve System. A refund of some fraction of the amount paid. A rectangular groove made to hold two pieces together. Cut a rebate in timber or stone. Give a reduction in the price during a sale. Join with a rebate. Rebate the pieces of timber and stone. Bar from attention or consideration. Bar from attention or consideration. Cease to consider. Put out of judicial consideration. This case is dismissed. Stop associating with. Bar from attention or consideration. She dismissed his advances. Terminate the employment of. Discharge from an office or position. End one's encounter with somebody by causing or permitting the person to leave. I was dismissed after I gave my report. Declare void. Refuse to acknowledge. Give little or no attention to. Bar from attention or consideration. Willful lack of care and attention. Lack of attention and due care. Refuse to acknowledge. Give little or no attention to. Bar from attention or consideration. Fail to notice. Be ignorant of or in the dark about. Push out of the way. Bar from attention or consideration. The act of reducing the selling price of merchandise. An amount added or deducted on the basis of qualifying circumstances. An allowance for profit. A reserve fund created by a charge against profits in order to provide for changes in the value of a company's assets. A permissible difference, allowing some freedom to move within limits. An amount allowed or granted, as during a given period. Travel allowance. A sum granted as reimbursement for expenses. Put on a fixed allowance, as of food. The act of allowing. He objected to the allowance of smoking in the dining room. The act of making something different, as e.g. the size of a garment. An amount added or deducted on the basis of qualifying circumstances. The process of adapting to something, such as environmental conditions. The act of adjusting something to match a standard. Making or becoming suitable. Adjusting to circumstances. The percentage of a sum of money charged for its use. The percentage of a sum of money charged for its use. The act of returning money received previously. Pay back. Please refund me my money. Money returned to a payer. Refuse entrance or membership. Black people were often rejected by country clubs. Deem wrong or inappropriate. Resist immunologically the introduction of some foreign tissue or organ. His body rejected the liver of the donor. Refuse to accept. The person or thing that is rejected or set aside as inferior in quality. Reject with contempt. Dismiss from consideration or a contest. Refuse to accept or acknowledge. I reject the idea of starting a war. The act of decreasing or reducing something. Change toward something smaller or lower. The statement of a theme in notes of lesser duration, usually half the length of the original. A process of becoming smaller or shorter. The act of decreasing or reducing something. Decrease in size, extent, or range. The amount of homework decreased towards the end of the semester. A change downward. There was a decrease in his temperature as the fever subsided. Make smaller. He decreased his staff. The amount by which something decreases. The act of decreasing or reducing something. The act of decreasing or reducing something. Any process in which electrons are added to an atom or ion, as by removing oxygen or adding hydrogen, always occurs accompanied by oxidation of the reducing agent. The act of reducing complexity. Reduce the price of. A discount from the list price of a commodity allowed by a manufacturer or wholesaler to a merchant. The discount rate fixed by a central bank. A rebate on rent given by a local government authority. Refuse to acknowledge. Pay no attention to, disrespect. She cold-shouldered her ex-fiancé. Reject as false. Refuse to accept. The state of being held in low esteem. Your actions will bring discredit to your name. Damage the reputation of. This newspaper story discredits the politicians. Cause to be distrusted or disbelieved. The paper discredited the politician with its nasty commentary. To cause inconvenience or discomfort to. Ignore someone's wishes. Treat with contemptuous disregard. Flout the rules. Laugh at with contempt and derision.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.